What's up? Guess what? Y'all guys are tuned into the Jaylarock live video podcast. You macaroni eating mother. Thank you. Testing. Can you guys hear me good? I hope you guys can hear me great. I hope you guys. This is not even how we're gonna start. We're gonna start the show off like this. Fuck this. Let's start it off. I don't care what nobody say. It's my show. We're gonna start off like this. Oh. That's right. That's right. Welcome to the Jaylarock show. Now I ain't talking about a taco. This is how we do it. 45 minutes of fun. And I ain't talking about a taco. Homie caught a body, had to fly back to Morocco. I think it was a Morocco. Oh! Yo, thank you for tuning in. Listen. If that didn't have you going in your car, then this might. If you're from Boston, stand the fuck up. That's right. What's up? Because this is the 617. This is 617. How y'all feeling out there, man? It's going to storm today. Be careful. It's coming. Taking out the lights. Yo. But, this is school, y'all. Almost we got going on today, because, you know, there's a lot of people that claim they started or originated, you know, a lot of shit in the game. So I thought I'd take the time out to school you motherfuckers. Class session. Quit with all the questions. Alright. But before we get into class on the hip hop legend for your mind, no sir, but Jaylarock was one of the pioneers of hip hop. All right, a man forgotten. Okay, also old school legend sampled by Public Enemy and Nas, but after a brutal attack put him in a nursing home. Okay. He had to fight to recover his identity, starting with the fact that he had ever been a rapper at all. All right. He was nervous. He hadn't been on stage since the incident had occurred. Okay. He was 34 years old, a veteran performer, but felt like a teenager picking up the microphone for the first time again. But what he he felt that somewhat reassuring when he summons the rhythm in his head he approached the mic and 1,000 times before. So first on performing in this venue, the Rec Room, it's something of a Hyman Salin home for ended up in his nursing home for rehabilitation near Coney Island in Brooklyn, right? Above the makeshift stage hung a long sheet of butcher paper, and it had the Salmon Talent Show and bubble letters on it. So after the residents named Betty finished reading poems from her grandchildren, it was his turn to take the stage. He cut on an odd figure up, like there was a 6'3" former rap legend in the track sweatsuit from Sweating from Nerves in front of the room, full of senior citizens. So he may have seemed like a strange booking choice of Salmon, but in fact he felt right at home there. But because he was home, please welcomed somebody announced, for him. So our very own musical maestro, the one and only Jaylarock. Okay. Now the crowd waited. Some were asleep in their wheelchairs. A few no longer knew their own names, but those that were alert and awake were in quite festive mood. So they tapped their feet as the music started, waving their hands for the fellow resident. Okay. T had been living at Salmon's for like some time now, recovering from his tragic head injury 2 years earlier. On April 1st, 1994, he had been attacked on the streets near his house in the Bronx. By the time he got to the hospital, he had slipped into a coma. Now, the doctors later said T had strenuous goals, but it was hard for him to reach those goals because he had ended up getting some amnesia. And when he was moved to the nursing home, Salmon's, it was one of the few facilities in the 5 boroughs that could, accommodate his kind of injury. So he thought at first that he, had wounded up at some type of purgatory hotel. So his rehabilitation, the doctors warned, would be a long road. So the other residents, more likely elder Jewish, Yiddish speakers, who families had immigrated from the pales of settlements. But T was from the Bronx, and he had been in a discreet witness to the birth of hip-hop 10 years earlier, okay? His single, It's Yours, was the very first hip-hop recording released by Def Jam, hashed out with Rick Rubin in his dorm at NYU. So that song became a hit and inspired the whole new sound in music, all right? And it also placed T at the lead, of the music scene, culture force of this, right? But many of T fellow patients knew he was a rapper or a singer or something. That nice boy from the 3rd floor, they would say, the superstar. But he was his first chance to show them that it was, and as they say, a warm room. T looked around and saw that everyone was there. Bernie and Leo, rolling, packing a fourth in their chairs, and other people from his groups from the Bronx also showed up. Peer friends and family members. Norma and Stephanie and Betty down in the front, and on the sidelines you had Marshall and you had Sheila clapping for him. So he had to painstakingly, memorize his rap, but a melody of his hit from his glory days at the age of the days when he was hitting the stage, a student volunteer started beatboxing, and when T found his way into the rhythm, his confidence swelled. He felt that familiar feelings and the decoration, of hip hop again. So he posed as if he was on the street corner in the Bronx to self-assure of the youthful learning, for the place in this world. That's where it all started, in the Bronx. But as the beat wrote to the edge of this verse, it was by instinct that Jaylarock reached out for the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Jaylarock and his strange, fish out of water story is just crazy because a lot of people don't remember T-Rock, and he's an icon of hip hop. You know what I mean? A staple, a legend. So do your story. Look up much shots to that man. Much shots to that man. Much shots to that man. Now, with furthermore, now you're here with Jaylarock, okay? Now, I got my name from this guy right here, Scott LaRock, okay? And I'm just going back in time just to give you guys a lesson on hip hop. Alright, so Boogie Down Production co-founder DJ Scott LaRock is a hip hop icon that matches, more levels than some, in the world, but never got to properly, know, or people never got the chance to get to know him, because on August 27th, 1987, DJ producer born Scott Sterling was killed less than 6 months after BDP released Criminal Minded. Okay. One of BDP's closest affiliates was MC Just Ice, okay? So from the same Bronx borough, just teamed with producer Curtis Montrick, to release the Black Old School in 1986, known for aggressively calling out peers in verses on stage and in the streets. So Just is widely considered as an architect of gangster rap in the trailer of the debut episode, Who's Question, so y'all can check that out. It's on YouTube. But he recalls being with members of Boogie Down Productions and just minutes before Scott LaRock's death, okay? Now, Just Ice reveals that on that day, a sleeping bag Fresh Records agreement was made for BDP to produce his sophomore EP, Cool and Deadly. But after we signed the contract, we went to McDonald's in Manhattan, he says, and it was all of BDP with them, plus RoboCop was with them, okay, he recalls. Just says of the BDP affiliate shouted out on I'm Still On 1. He says, this is just after 1 o'clock mark, okay? So we was eating in KRS-One, got a phone call from D Nice, who needed help. By being on 68th and Broadway, and he was in the Bronx, we were like, yo, we're staying here. RoboCop was like, we're gonna go up there, and I'm gonna get D Nice. Scott was like, I'll go with you. That's the last we ever seen of Scott. Just says Scott didn't even know he was shot, according to RoboCop. They were driving, and all of a sudden, Scott grabbed his neck and then fell down. His head hit the motherfucking dashboard with a gunshot wound behind his head, and it was a 22. That's what you call the lucky motherfucking shot, man. He says, if you ever been to Webster Projects, those buildings are like 7 to 20 story high.